Our guest today is Iliana Matos. She's an absolutely incredible performer and recording artist from Cuba, currently stationed as the guitar professor at the University of Lethbridge in Alberta. Iliana has won multiple first places and countless special awards at international competitions, and her performing career, spanning almost 40 years now, has taken her all across the world, from Latin America, North America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. She's given masterclasses at universities, conservatories, and festivals all over, and we're extremely lucky to have her as faculty at both of the BC Guitar Festivals this year. I actually first had the chance to work with Iliana at the Caslo Guitar Festival about 10 years ago, and later at masterclasses at UBC, and her teaching and playing absolutely live up to the stellar reputation. So thanks for coming. It's really nice to have you on the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. Nice introduction. What I can say after all of this you have said. So we first met 10 years ago, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible how time flies.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably met you even before moving to Alberta.
Yeah.
Because I taught at the University of British Columbia. You might be finishing your degree or something?
Yeah, I was studying at the same time as Austin, actually.
Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, wow. So Austin, and you are, okay.
Right, yeah.
Classmates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. It's so wonderful, by the way, that quartet that you guys are putting together.
Mm-hmm.
And as you might know well, Austin is becoming really good to making arrangement. And
yeah.
He did an arrangement for our ensemble at the university, the guitar ensemble.
Yeah, the Kaiser Waltz, right?
Exactly. 12 minutes music, but incredible.
Yeah.
So good. It's fantastic to see how a student from my studio and also from BC, from the University of British Columbia, first with Daniel and now with Alec, and building up a new generation of guitarists and see, wow, that you guys are now professionals.
Yeah.
So it's so fantastic, so fantastic. I never expect this kind of thing 10 years ago before moving to Alberta. So it's a beautiful thing when you see results, right?
Mm-hmm. So speaking of Austin, I like to start these interviews with a weird question before we get into the main thing. So my question of the day, some backstory for the viewers. So I've known Austin Color, from all the way back in my undergraduate days, and he's one of Iliana's longtime students and actually the very first guitar master's degree that came out of Lethbridge. And we're currently in the Western Canadian Guitar Quartet together that is going to be playing at the Okanagan Festival. So anyways, for you, I have a question. Do you have any interesting stories about Austin as a student in all those years that you've been teaching him?
Not sure.
Nothing?
He's so nice.
Yeah.
I don't think there is nothing or something that different. No, Austin is a really good guy, super smart, I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very hard worker, very focused, self-motivated. I don't know. This guy is incredible.
Great.
Yeah. So no weird things.
Okay.
Only thumb up.
That's great. Well, let's move on to you. So you've had a pretty extraordinary performing career so far, and it's still going really strong. Could you tell us a bit about your early years and what made you first decide that you wanted to become a professional musician?
Oh, well, since I was a kid, my life was around music. So when I was 9, I started learning multi-instrument, but from popular perspective and approach. I mean, I learned by ear, bass, electric guitar, acoustic, ukulele, Cuban tres, some percussion. So I was in a private academy in Cuba where we, gigs. I had fun. So a few years later, my mom wanted me to study to have professional. I was more, going to the conservatory for more formal studies. But but also it wasn't with a purpose to be a musician. No, I just had fun, and I spent my life since I was a kid. My parents, my mother never had to say you need to practice or no, or make your homework. No, nothing. I was very. I don't know. It was so nice the life I had when I was a kid in terms of what I liked. We didn't have. We are talking about many decades ago. We didn't have in that time the amount of activity that the kids had, with multiple activity after school.
Yeah.
No, I was raised, born and raised in a small town, 5,000 people. The population was very small, and it was like a very small. But so 5,000 people looks like a lot of people, but no, it was just like a 1 kilometer length and a few streets. That's it.
Yeah.
And surrounded by sugar factory and this kind of thing. So there was nothing to do in that small town. So music, it was like I don't know, all the kids were there. So I grew up surrounded by music. That was the best entertainer we had. And I love it. I was so curious about playing. And I also learned piano, I remember as well. But I was involved in either in children bands, singing and playing piano or electric guitar, any instrument. We were, So then when I started learning classical guitar, I fell in love, That sounds classical. Yeah. Oh my God, that was something. Yeah. And that happened. I remember that my first time that I played a classical guitar piece, recital setting in the conservatory, I was 11. But I still remember that I played by memory, of course, because by that time I had my ear, it was a little bit higher than my sight reading. And also in Cuba, we were taught, at least in those years, that to perform by hearing always, So anyway, I still have that feeling from my first performance on classical guitar. So I just love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And then I continue, and I did, in Cuba, we have the system, kind of the same thing we had in Canada, but a little bit different, means that we had the conservatory that is 8 years, but then to be able to move to the university, to the bachelor degree, the conservatory is a requirement, while here in Canada is not. So that is the only difference, right? It's mandatory. So I was moving from elementary school it was paired with music, elementary music school, then the middle school, same thing, and then to the university when I did my bachelor degree. But one thing took me to the other. And by the time I was doing my bachelor degree, when I first started, I already joined the international competition in Havana. So that means that after my national school of music, I was very serious about classical guitar. But it just happened. I cannot tell you that I want to be a musician. I didn't have idea what my life is going to be. Of course, no any thought about how to make a living being a musician. No, at all. It was just fun. It's my passion. I can say music is my passion.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's actually kind of incredible that so much of your town centered around music. Do you know a lot of your friends and family from back home that ended up going on to become musicians themselves?
Well, my brother is a guitarist as well. He play also multi-instrument, but he's younger than me. So I inspire him. But no, the where I came from, that necessity to be a musician, to learn music, making music. Well, going back to the origin of my town, the point is that my town was, very poor town in Cuba, where the road, was like a rough road. We didn't have, there was limited electricity. There was usually only television in a public park where people used to go. So we have out there movie where, cinema, where we go once a month. We had the possibility to see, to have outdoor cinemas. So there was nothing to do,
Yeah, just music.
People were working on the farm and all of these things. And it was a coincidence that my house was located at the very end of the town, very close to the sugar camp. And it was a coincidence that there was a teacher who moved, an instructor, is called in Cuba, those one who teach, popular music. And she is the one who built that private academy, which, by the way, was kind of weird thing, because in that time in Cuba wasn't allowed any private activity. The government used to control everything. But she made it in that small town in the middle of nowhere. And it was just because one day I noticed so many kids going around my house, passing, and I followed them. And when that woman had a big house with a lot of garden. Anyway, I made it to the house. Also in a small town where everything is so safe, nobody cares. People has their open door, their opens, So I made it, and when I saw what the kids were doing, I knew it, that I had to do it. I love it. And that was the way I felt in love with music. Also on the radio, I can tell you, I never had heard classical music. No. In my town, Guantanamo, what we used to have is a lot of traditional Cuban music. That is what I so no inspiration. There is no background on classical music. I don't have any background, no, on classical music. Is just that, the way it happened, circumstance, and also the music that I heard, it was totally popular, and then, but happily, I was able to go to the conservatory and then to learn and know about, all of this wonderful classical tradition.
Great. Yeah, I'm very lucky. I heard that you taught yourself English online and then moved to Canada. That's really incredible. And also a huge decision, because you were very established in Spain. What made you choose to come to Canada?
That is a good question. The point actually is that I got married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we were thinking where to live, in Canada or in Spain. And in Spain, there was a huge economic crisis. And yeah, it was so Spain, it wasn't even that I had a good job there, it wasn't the best country to, for someone from out there in that moment. So I always had that thing that, that I never spoke English. I live in Cuba, then I moved to Venezuela, then to Spain. So all my, I spent my
Yeah.
until my 40s or something, living in Spanish speaker countries. And I really felt very frustrated with that, because I noticed that as a teacher, I couldn't expand, or my career, and also as a performer, I miss a lot of opportunity because I couldn't reply an email or something like that, for example. Again, we are talking about 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Now, everything that I'm talking to you is like a weird, right? Because now internet is all over. You can actually build kids now, the younger generation can make their career, can build their career themselves. You don't need recording companies now to record a CD. You don't need even a sophisticated studio to record a good video, etc. And over, you know. So, but in that time, there wasn't internet. There wasn't Google Translator or artificial intelligence to help us. Now everything is so easy, right? And no, but in that time it was very, very, very hard. And then, as I always had that things that I couldn't expand my career as I wanted, because my limitation on not speaking English. So that was the motivation to come into Canada. Yeah, that I said, well, this is now or never. Yeah, and that's why we made the decision to move here. And yeah.
Great. And how did you end up at Lethbridge?
Well, you see, life is so incredible. Life gives you things. It was coincidence. It was just because in 2016, I made a world tour celebrating my 30 years as a performer. And I ended up playing in Edmonton, Vancouver, in the West. And I remember that everywhere I play in that time, people used to ask me, do you work? Or are do you teach in where do you work? And I, by that time, I used to say, well, I'm not teaching officially at any institution, but I'm looking for a job.
Yeah.
So that was 2016. The year after, I got an email from someone from Alberta, from Edmonton, I believe. And they told me, if you are still looking for a job, there is a job in Lethbridge because the professor just retired. And I said, and he sent me the application link. I took a look. Oh, wow. Why not?
Yeah.
My first thing was to think, no, I have no English enough to teach at that level, right? My English 10 years ago was tiny, very small, much better, but still struggling with this. Yeah, it's very hard learning a language, being an adult, right? Yeah, but at least now I can speak some things. Yeah, so that's it. That's the story. And then I applied, and I got the job. So, but that time it happens. So I was living in Toronto 4 years. Yeah, being a freelance, playing concerts, just dedicated to my learning English, practicing and and performing, traveling. That was my ideal life for over 4 years. Now it's totally the opposite. Teaching.
I think it's quite difficult to make a life as a freelance performer. Did you get most of your concerts by yourself, or did people contact you, or did you have a manager that you worked with?
Well, first of all, there is always people approaching me because
you're good.
Some people know me. Yeah. But also I have to do the job to approach them, especially after, I can say that before, so moving to Canada changed my life a lot because the approach in North America is so different from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
At least when I lived in Spain almost 20 years. The regular thinking in people is that you need a manager, you need this, you need a recording, a company. No. When I made it to Canada and over the social media, I realized, first of all, that there are so many festivals, a guitar society, a guitar program in North America, especially in the United States. And all of these guitarists were doing themselves. And I noticed they promoting themselves, doing all this. Well, I need to do the same thing. And I just started doing that, something that I never have done before. So before, I never approached people to ask for a concert. No. That is incredible, but I don't know. It's the way I was living in Spain, but North America gave me so much, idea of business that the musician need to be their own manager. I think so. And I believe you can create a life as a musician. I mean, make a living as a musician. But then you need to be your manager. You need to reach people. You need to prepare yourself. You need to spend time on social media. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Yeah. And you never end working. I practice every day from 10 p.m. to midnight. That is incredible, for example. Yeah, after teaching. Yeah, but if I don't do that, so yeah, I always will get some invitation but I'm missing a lot if I don't do my job, which include reaching all the, promoters, plus also social media. At this moment, I have really restricted my social media time because my time is so limited. And you can stay hour and hour if you decide just to answer comments and things like that. Oh my God, can't tell you. So I really reduce my social media time. So it's part of my work, something that I need to do, but I spend some time on that. But yeah, that is the way I'm doing what I'm doing, which is teaching plus performing, preparing also recording, videos.
How would you compare the general interest in classical guitar and maybe the amount of performance opportunities between Spain and Canada?
It's hard to say because Spain is a small country. Canada is a big country with a small population.
That's right. Maybe
so
how about
so
let's localize it to maybe like the places you've been, maybe like Toronto and Lethbridge and Alberta in general, or.
Well, what I can say is something. Listen, Spain is just history. Look behind centuries and centuries. So in every single town in Spain, there is a conservatory, professional conservatory. There are festivals, sometimes guitar festival, music festival. So yeah, and I, for example, I can tell you, I taught in Spain, also in the conservatory level. I taught at the university level for the Royal Conservatory in Madrid, in Mallorca, the conservatory there also, and in Salamanca, but also I taught on the conservatory level, which is the previous one, like a conservatory here, and in a small town, 40,000 people. That was the population in Plasencia. In Lethbridge, the population is bigger, is about 100,000. I can tell you the guitar in that conservatory was the second instrument only after the piano.
Wow, that's big.
Yes, I was the only guitar professor there, and I had a waiting list for starting guitar.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And yes, for example, in Madrid, the Conservatorio in Madrid, when I started there, we were like, I don't know, probably about 70, 60, 70
That's so
students.
much. Wow.
Exactly. There were, I think, 5 or 6 faculty, and all of them have between 10 and 12,
Mm-hmm.
13 students. So, yeah,
That's big,
it
yeah.
was huge. But, well, Spain is the tradition where the guitar
That's
comes
right.
from, including, of course,
Mhm.
Italy and all of these European countries that are very, yeah. But I have to say, on the other hand, in comparison with that, even though that Canada is a new country and that is a country with a small population, and some places have more setting, like a Toronto, right? Quebec, those are where the population is really. In comparison with, I don't think that is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, the Toronto is probably, Jeff, always have around 20 students or something between all the degrees. And for example, last year that I toured in Quebec, and I thought they have 5. You studied in Quebec, right?
Yeah,
Montreal?
that's right, yeah.
You made your master there. So I remember on my master class that I played for the Montreal Guitar Society, and they organized a master class. I had 5 students. Each one was from a different guitar program, bachelor degree. So that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think that we are good. We are good. We are not bad at all. And something that really, really good and very smart here in North America, Canada, and the United States is that they have all of these guitar society and even the guitar programs that have some good economic support. They have international series. That means that the best guitarists on the world, the touring artists, are coming to here to Canada, right? And that's the way you had me in
That's right.
10 years ago, and others, right? People coming from the States. Also, when they tour European guitarists or other Asian, whatever, they are touring in the US. Usually they come here to Canada. So I think that is really fantastic. And that contributes to bring the level, to bring, the reference is high. And I have to say, there is more business. The guitar business is in North America, not in Europe.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. In Europe, everything is too much institutional.
Right.
Countries like Spain, Italy, France, all of these countries that very much everything is on the control of the institution. People have not the freedom to organize, and
right.
For example, the Guitar Society, which is so popular in here. We have just in Spain a few.
Wow.
And probably one only, which is really having concert consistently. So it's not frequent. It's not frequent. So it's smart. So, and then the thing is that you see how many guitar societies there are in the state. Hundreds guitar programs at the school level program. You see how many things are, There is a festival last year or 2 years ago that I played, was online. New Mexico Guitar Festival. It's a big festival, and it's organized at the high school level. So that you won't find that in Europe.
Yeah.
You won't. You won't. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm glad that I'm here.
I heard that you also have a Student for a Day outreach program and the newly formed Lethbridge Guitar Society. So you're also in the market for increasing the interest in Lethbridge. Have you found that there's more and more people who are interested in classical guitar around you?
It's very hard. Yes, I can say yes, but it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because classical music in Alberta is no tradition.
Uh-huh.
There is no tradition on classical music. So this is my 7th year in Lethbridge, in Alberta. Oh my gosh. And Lethbridge is a small town.
Mm-hmm.
What they love, country music. So I can tell you, there is a country music society, and they have open mic, bunch of people. We are trying to put together, we try very hard to put a guitar society there.
Right.
So there is no love for classical music because it's tradition.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are building things and we can see improvement, but you cannot change things dramatically in just one day.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of effort for, yeah. So, and it's the conservatory. We have the program at the university. With my guitar ensemble, that this is the 2nd year, I have been working very close with the high school. We put together an ensemble, 70
Wow, that's
people
a lot.
playing. Yes, we did that last year. Yeah, and we play at the festival together, the high school. Scott Davison is doing an amazing job there. But I can tell you, for example, Scott has 120 student kids on his music program for rock and pop. And for classical, he put together 50. That was incredible.
That's a lot.
But if you compare numbers, numbers speak by themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a hard work to do. Southern Alberta is very, very traditional. In opposite to that, I can tell you, in Calgary, that I'm working also. This is my 2nd year to working on the conservatory. I think the faculty is 5 teachers.
Yeah, Calgary's pretty
but the
big.
guitar yes, and the guitar society is very strong, very has something to do with that, right? The conservatory, the guitar society. So you need, one person cannot do anything. You need support from, and everybody. When people come together, we can make changes in the society. One people, Iliana Matos, trying to change the world. No.
Speaking of which, though, tradition and Iliana Matos changing the world, could you tell us a little bit about the interesting recording project that you're working on right now?
Okay. Oh, well, I give you, that is going to be the first time that I will say what is my recording project about.
Oh, okay. We get the exclusive scoop.
Exactly. Well, in 2020, when the lockdown, I was teaching an online lesson after 3 months on lockdown. I fainted.
Oh, wow.
Teaching an online lesson. Yes. And I crashed the guitar.
Oof.
My Paco Marin guitar.
Ouch.
Exactly. No, it's not possible to repair. The top was totally damaged. Yeah, it was a big mess. Anyway, and you imagine what doctors, 911, a lot of tests, because when you faint, doctors think that you had a stroke. But no, everything was good. And they just came to the conclusion that I just was stressed out. Yeah, and that's the truth. It looks like, because anyway, so but the point is that after that, I was having a lot of episodes of dizziness. And when those episodes came, I was about 2 hours. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't sit all my balance. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So when I had these things, I had to cancel everything. No teaching, no nothing.
Yeah.
So it was very frustrating because it never warned me that is coming. It just appeared. You imagine we are talking naturally, I'm good, and suddenly something.
Mm-hmm.
And doctor didn't have any answer for this problem because they check everything, my heart, my brain, my bones,
Yeah.
anyway. So yeah, I assuming that I was stressed out, how to release my stress. I had to learn how to manage the stress out because COVID, it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I'm the only one who had a very bad experience over COVID,
sure.
because I have heard from people stories and anyway. But there was two things. I was looking for how to overcome what was happening to me, but at the same time I have to say that I was depressed from the situation that I crashed my guitar, that just to make not a guitar, because we can't replace guitar. Of course, the guitar is a pain on my heart.
Yeah.
But I have 3 guitars now, right? For example. But when you feel like you have no control on your life, this is psychological. That was killing me, and so I felt very depressed because I didn't know even if I was going to overcome what was happening to me, and nobody. So I was a little bit. I was very depressed. I mean, so my journey looking how to overcome my depression and my physical reaction to that, I ended up, and a student of mine recommended me a book to read. And that book is by a American neuroscience. We talk about what meditation does on your brain, what happens on your brain when you meditate. And I read the book, and I trust this guy, Joe Dispenza. And I started doing the meditation. I changed my habits. And for example, I used to, over the lockdown, one big mistake I did, it was that I kept my schedule, my regular schedule. So I used to teach 4 hours at the university, break, and 5 from 4 to 6 hours at the conservatory. I was teaching about 10 hours daily.
That's a lot. Wow.
And only one break a small break for lunch. Of course, I had never taught 10 hours daily online. I always have taught a sky lesson, but it's not the same teaching 1 hour, 2 hours, that teaching 10 hours, 8, 10 hours. And also all the crisis created about COVID, the fear, and that also has something to do also with my fears. Taking control on my thoughts, on my feelings. Anyway, so when I read that book, it helped me to understand what was going on my brain, why I was so stressed out that my brain is. So when you faint, it's just that your heart notice, and your brain, that you, for example, you are super stressed out. When you are stressed, your blood pressure is high, your sugar, the glucose everything goes up. And your brain, what does is that it disconnects you to save you. So then what I started meditating. I changed my schedule, having break between a student. just 5 to 10 minutes, not one after the other. No, 5 to 10 minutes, just a small walk, small breathing, 5 minutes breathing. That's it, enough. And every day walking my dog early, 1 hour before having breakfast, and then meditation, 1 hour. After 6 months, everything disappeared.
That's great.
But that is what it has to do with my project. So in the meantime, I have to say that when I was in the middle of all of this chaos, I lost my connection with my guitar. That passion that I always had with practicing, performing, I lost it. I was something died on me. Yeah, I lost that connection. And that made me also feel very depressed because all my life was around music, and now I cannot enjoy playing the guitar. How is that? It was so depressing.
Yeah,
not having my music, and I thought that wow, and that is how this idea came from. I thought I should probably tell the story. And if I can tell the story from an artistic perspective, that could probably help me to reveal my connection with music. And then I approached composer and I told them the story. This is what happened. Do you think that my story can inspire you to write a piece based on this? Oh. And that's right. And then I put together an application. Thank you to the Canada Council for the Arts and the Alberta Foundation. I got a grant for recording. I got a grant to commission to pay the composer, everything. So yeah, but the original idea was that I need desperately to find something that bring me back to my music. And that was the idea. It was a crazy idea, right? I didn't know when it came to my mind that how to do it. No, I figured out, and it took me a lot. Since I first started thinking on that, until I made it and I got the first grant, and then the second one, okay, this is serious now. It took at least 2 years, 2 to 3 years. It took a lot, because I didn't know how to make it, but also how, anyway, that's the story. So I have now 8 composer, beautiful pieces, incredible composer, and the amazing thing, beautiful music, challenging. Some of them are so very challenging. Like the piece that Patrick, I'm going to premiere, Patrick Roux.
Yeah.
I'm going to premiere his piece at the Oka Festival.
Oh, great.
Okay. It's going to be something.
Yeah.
It's a huge piece. Huge piece. Sergio as a piece is something so tricky.
Always,
of course, he has a big hand. For me, anything by Sergio is challenging, but for my left hand, it's all the time big stretching, big chord. His harmony is so incredible. Oh my God, you have no idea. And even with my small scale guitar, it's still challenging.
So is your program for the Okanagan Guitar Festival and the Vancouver Guitar Festival, are they going to be all from this program of composers that you've recently contacted?
Yeah, I just premiered 5 pieces here in Calgary last month. I premiered 5 pieces, and now I'm going to release the Patrick piece, in Okanagan, and then the second one, Jeff McFadden wrote an amazing piece also for me. I'm gonna to premiere in Vancouver Festival.
That's awesome.
Those 2 pieces are huge. Huge, long pieces, very hard. So I'm separating them from the rest. Other pieces are shorter. So, however, it was a crazy thing. I had never premiere 5 pieces in a concert.
Yeah, that's
It was,
huge. That's so much work.
it was crazy to do that here in Calgary. But anyway, the good thing is that the audience love it, and
Yeah.
that is what something that I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to also to premiere all of this music here in Alberta and in Canada. Basically, I just want one piece. I'm going to premiere in Europe, and it's the Leo Brouwer piece. And I'm going to premiere in Granada International Guitar Festival because Leo Brouwer was there many years. And he's so very well known there, and that I want to. Hopefully, he will be there. Not sure. Let's see, because he's in Spain very frequently, and I'm hoping that he can make it. But if not, it's okay. But the festival is so huge that I wanted to give Brouwer a very good place for his premiere. But no, yeah, I'm premiering all my new pieces before releasing the CD, and that is giving me a really good idea how the CD is gonna going. If it's gonna work or not. Always recording new music is very challenging.
Yeah.
You never know if the audience is gonna like it or not. And but looking at the response the audience had here in Calgary, I can guess, I know, because the other pieces that are coming that still I haven't premiere are nice.
Great.
Yeah, are nice, very, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, this is such a beautiful sounding project, so I'm really looking forward to the CD whenever it comes out. So the Okanagan and Vancouver Guitar Festivals are coming up pretty soon. I was wondering, how important do you think these kinds of festivals are for students and early professionals to take part in?
Well, I would say for a student, it's a huge event. Why? Simple. Motivation. If even in Vancouver, there is a big school, guitar school, right? It was last year that I adjudicated the festival. Oh my God. So crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to write comment because it was every class had 5, 6, even more kids. So the guitar in Vancouver is so very strong. Thanks to all the people involved, from Galina's studio, from other studios, from the high school, from the middle school, from the guitar program, the Guitar Society. Is a huge thing. So imagine all of this, or here in Alberta and all other places like in Ontario that is also quite strong, and Quebec. If we have these kids taking guitar lesson in a regular setting, just private lesson, and there is no opportunity to them to show their music, what they have done, there is no motivation. They need motivation.
Yeah.
And this event is festival are good because it's a motivation for a student, but also for professional. It keep me, for example, for myself, it keep me practicing, because I don't want anybody be disappointing of me.
Right.
I know what the people expect from my playing. And people know me very well in this area now, British Columbia and Alberta, mostly in all Canada. But so I know what is my standard. People want me to see, but they expect that. If I don't play at that level, so it's a motivation for me. And an artist, what is an artist without an audience? You need your audience, and your audience are the parents, the students, anybody, the regular people in town, that music lover, everybody's part of the audience. So I think that these kind of events, festival, are so very important in terms of motivation. Also, it works as you can measure, when you go frequently to those festival students, you can measure their level of improvement. See? For example, I met Joss, your partner in the quartet, in Caslo, I believe. It was Caslo Guitar Festival.
Yeah. Probably around the same time that we met too.
And his playing was here. He played very well, but he had still a long way to go. And then, so I taught him just one lesson in person, and he took lesson with me online over 3 years. But he continued improving, working and improving, and he had the dream to go to Spain, and he qualified, and he did his master. And now look, he's performing, organizing concerts himself, playing, at professional level. And all of this is possible because all of this event, without event, and this is what COVID demonstrates, we human beings are supposed to live together in community. And festivals are important, very important key on community, on building community, on putting together everybody, teacher, family, kids, promoters, everything. So yeah, wonderful. I have to say that thank you to all the people involved on this festival, that Alec, you, Luis, everybody. And I don't want to say too much now because I know that I'm missing a lot of people.
Yeah.
There are more people involved from that. There is a lot of effort behind, right? I know how much it costs, but yeah, without this event, I think that we cannot be artists, and it's the best motivation for everybody, for a student and for a professional.
At these festivals, I think there's going to be a lot of people who have their very first performances. Do you have any advice? Maybe things that you would have liked to hear before you gave your first performance?
Well, I would say here it took me a while to understand what it means. Have fun. Diviértete, in Spanish. If you have fun, you have no fear. If you have fun, there is nothing worry to be about. When we are worried, when you focus on, I need to be perfect, I'm gonna be the best, competition, that is what creates separation. Separation make feel us, even in a kid that cannot process or even understand what is feeling, is to create such a competition, feeling. It creates so much separation, and that's what creates fear. Fear is what we have. This is frequent in musician, anxiety performance. Sometimes, and it's because of all of this fear and expectation that the society creates. But so I remember still when I was a kid, how I performed. My first time performing classical guitar. It was a party. And I have pictures from when I was 9 and 10 playing electric piano in a children band, singing pop song and things like that, or playing electric guitar. Fun.
Yeah.
So that is, especially if your first approach is nice, good. Because then you want another one, and next one. That is how it happened to me, right? So my best advice is just have fun, enjoy what you are doing and no worries about anything. One false note, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the end of the world. Just have fun. Enjoy your music, what you have creating with your teacher, on your room, on your practice room. And this is an opportunity. It's what I always say. When you perform or when you practice at home, you are a student. Even myself. When I practice here, I'm a student.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to put together something. I only become an artist when I perform. I have my audience.
Yeah.
So this kid or those teenagers, doesn't matter, or even those adults that are performing for the very first time, just have fun because it's your opportunity to connect with people. And this is what is music about. Music is about connection, how you connect, with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so beautiful. If you focus on to play perfect, no mistake, I don't want to disappoint my parents or my teacher, or I want to be best at that, you cannot give people emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Those feelings are negative feelings. So people only, it's about vibration, but it's another story. Yeah. So anyway, just have fun and enjoy.
Beautiful. Well, if you guys want to have fun and enjoy, the Okanagan Festival is July 4th to 7th, and the Vancouver Festival is at July 11th to 14th. So feel free to sign up at vancouverguitar.org if you're interested, and you can join both festivals if you want and see Iliana premiering 2 very exciting new pieces at both of them. So that'll be very, very much worth your time. Anyways, to round things off, is there any final thing that you want to say before we end the interview?
Well, thanks to everybody who are joining us. Thank you for the support over those years here in Canada. That really made me feel like this is the place where I have to be. Thank
Great.
you.
Well, thank you very much. So thanks for joining us, and I'll see you at the Okanagan Guitar Festival.